of the year, you don't want them following. I understand you can gain a lot from it, but this is just the wrong time to have anything else on the players' minds except the match.
And documentaries, historically in esports, have only ever seen teams lose.
Oh, and this is it. The third and final map in the match that we've all been waiting for this whole weekend.
Verygames NIP for a place in the grand final here at DreamHack. Counter-Strike Go, $250,000 on the line. Brought to you by Stale Series, as Verygames make a quick push in towards that B site. And that's a lightning fast push. Bomb planted before you could even catch your breath. And Shox is going to go looking for first frag. It's going to be Fifth Laren that goes down. There's another player that's lost a lot of health too. Exist out for the count. This is a great start from Verygames. Only one man down, 4 men against 2 to defend this plant. And they'll make that just Freiburg last. Verygames, textbook pistol round T-side.
Honestly, NIP just had no idea what was happening that round. Verygames got into the lower bomb site so quickly from outside. NIP were just completely caught off guard. And what a great pistol round strat by Verygames. I mean, that strategy alone, without even hitting those shots, just basically won them the round. We saw Forrest was the first one to rotate, and he didn't even get into the lower site from ramp, where he plays, before the bomb got planted. So that was just... Verygames just outplayed NIP as a team that round, that's for sure.
Big stuff. Talk us through the map. What's the score you want at halftime in this one for Verygames or NIP? What's a good T-score?
So Nuke is actually a very CT-sided map. It's probably the most CT-sided map in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So for NIP, you definitely want to get in the double digits. With a pistol round on the terrorist side, you can get to around 6 rounds. 7 rounds might be pushing it unless you break the other team's money. But like we talked about before, if you can constantly force the counter-terrorist to save, you can win any half in Counter-Strike, simply because you can get to something like 10 rounds by winning about 4 weapon rounds, maybe even more, maybe even less sometimes. So a lot of it comes down to money management.
Isn't that a story of life, kids? Just get right, rattles off a few shots to the side. It's going to be Verygames with Smiths. Looking to see if anyone's in the vents. He's going to have action here, and it's going to be Freiburg that goes down. Verygames starters, they mean to continue here as they look to convert the pistol round through. Fifth Laren is waiting for action on that B site. As Exist gets himself one. Scream is out for the count. That's what NIP needed. They needed something to cheer for. It's not going to come from Fifth Laren this time around, but Get Right's headshot onto MBK is going to keep us going frag for frag here, followed up by Forrest. NIP come alive as they clean out the round. I don't believe that. Forrest, huge round.
Huge round by Forrest. He was so patient waiting in that corner right by the vent. Waited even still after seeing the first guy. And Get Right's kill really allowed Forrest to get all these frags while hiding here. Because had Get Right not been able to get that opening frag from ramp, all the Verygames players wouldn't have been looking that way. And that is what allowed Forrest to get those kills.
You know, I heard for the first time in that cheering afterwards, Heaton suddenly erupted.
Yeah, it's been a while since we heard him.
And you can tell the pressure starting to show on these seasoned faces, because it's all come down to this. 1-1. These two sides can barely be separated.
And that save round loss could actually cost Verygames $78,000. Think about that.
I will do. Smiths dances in. It'll be Exist in his Exist to get himself a great kill there. And for NIP there, just waiting on a push coming in. It's going to be the ramp room where it happens. Nip and Forrest and Get Right get themselves 3, and they will convert that through. Good work, 2-1. And it seems just 2 minutes ago we were singing Verygames praises for that beautiful pistol round, but that's long forgotten now.
That's very long forgotten. And Verygames have just gone from a very likely 3-0 lead on a half where even 5 rounds is acceptable and could easily be enough for the map win, to all of a sudden being down 1-2, still on a save round, likely to be down 1-3. And NIP are one of the world's best, well, naturally, counter-terrorist side teams on Nuke, possibly the best team here. So that could be really costly. It's going to be tough for Verygames to win actual weapon rounds, because they do need to win at least 2 to 3 more rounds to have a chance and contend for the map as counter-terrorists.
Get Right letting loose. Oh, Scream's going to get him. And just as Shox and Scream went looking for that gun on the other side to pick it up, It was Freiburg who popped out with his FAMAS and made sure that that was not to be claimed. MBK in the vents is all alone. He's not going anywhere. Exist came from behind and dropped him, and now we have a bye round for Verygames, and the pressure mounts more. They have to get something from this.
They do. We'll see. We'll actually see what Verygames chooses to do, and I wonder if that save round loss will actually affect them, because they obviously know what's at stake here in this match, and they also know just how monumentally important those couple of extra free rounds could have been for them going into the second half here, and they're just under a lot of pressure to deliver at least a few more rounds in this terrorist side half.
How crucial can Forest's individual moment in that B site be? As Getright gets himself that first frag onto existence, NIP start well here. Every frag cheered on by the home crowd, as it'll be Scream to look his head around the corner looking for Forest there. He's going to go towards the door and open up. Here goes Forest now, though. No! Gets a headshot. Gets a headshot. Good work from Forest. Sorry, from Scream. Wow, messed that all up. As Verygames will try to divert attention over towards the B site. Freiburg is in the vents. Getright coming around now as NIP look to stop anything happening for him. Fifth Laren gets one. Smith quickly goes tit for tat. 3 on 3. Scream has 3 points of health. Smith out, and now there are only 2 Frenchmen left standing. Bomb going to get planted by Shocks here, and Scream is going to open up. That was his chance. Scream had to take it, didn't he end? Second bite of the cherry goes his way, but he's not going to get there. Did damage to both players, and Shocks 1 on 2 players on low health may be able to make something happen. The bomb ticks as the first man drops down. He's going to wait his time. Oh, I don't believe it!
What a smart play by Getright. They didn't even know which door Shocks was behind. Exist was actually throwing an incendiary grenade behind the other door, and Getright just spammed him just like that, as you see there. What a great play by Getright.
Instinct.
That's what it is.
Pure instinct at this stage, and may be the difference. Because that was the moment for them. That was their opportunity. Shocks in 1v2, not a tough situation for him.
No, that's one of those rounds that we've talked about so often in this tournament, where a team may just need one of those rounds to go their way, and all the momentum shifts. All of a sudden, they just start firing on all cylinders and just start racking up rounds. But NIP still very comfortably in the lead, 4-1, and they're just looking strong early on in this counter-terrorist half.
Freiburg will spy. It's a 5 AK round for Verygames, as Verygames will feel cheated by that last round. They feel they will have felt they did everything right. Sometimes you just can't account for brilliant play. And they make their way around the outside now. Existence has reinforcements coming. Good jump. Gets it right as he will make his way around towards the top. And that bird's nest. He's got one coming up, and he'll drop him quickly. Getright out for the count. That's what they needed. Quickly gets out of there in the end. Existence as he's caught on fire. And Exist pushes into the tin can. Just looked away at the wrong time. And the 2 frags have gone the way of Verygames. Freiburg finally gets 1 on the board for NIP, but it came at the expense of a lot of health. And Existence just being there is making Verygames very nervous. Oh, sorry, NIP very nervous. Forest gets 1. Shocks in on Freiburg, and he's down. 2 on 2. Bomb moving with Scream. Bomb planted by Scream. Shocks has to just lay out and wait. In fact, he's not going to be able to do that at all. Fifth Laren gets his head off, and now it's all on Scream. Whew. NIP coming big right when they need it.
What a nice 2v2 retake there by Forest and Fifth Laren, both of them getting the kills they needed. Nice drop-down kill by Fifth Laren in the vents. NIP crowd just going crazy. Bit of an odd move by Existence. He was a little hesitant there in the tower. It looked like he would have been able to get a free kill had he just peeked when NBK was shooting at Freiburg, who was on the floor in the upper bomb site, but looked a little hesitant there, and it could have potentially been the difference between winning or losing that round.
I don't believe it. This has been absolutely pulsating stuff. And we'll see whether we're going to get any more here. 5-1 NIP. Every gun round contested like it's a match-winning round.
Verygames once again starting off slow, just trying to work the outside area of the map, looking for picks. Haven't really decided what to do yet. And it looks like their same round they've been running so far in this terrorist half, just looking for picks, trying to feel NIP out.
There's Smiths, he does spy one. Existence jump last time out really put the cat amongst the pigeons for Verygames. It may be something worth repeating at another point. Get Right is going to see some action here as Verygames shuffle around above him, but it's going to be Smiths that comes down first, and Get Right lies in wait for him, and oh, you would have put your house on Get Round that corner and got the headshot off. He got away with 6 points of health. As he now runs around inside on the lower level. Existence comes in, he's got a man above him. Freiburg is going to be pushing MBK back. Smith nades in towards the ramp.
The bomb is going to be going down in the lower site. One more after plant for Verygames. We'll see if they can hold on to this one.
Third time lucky maybe for Verygames. Frags for Existence and Shocks. It's going to be Forest and Exist to try and do something. Forest is out and Exist is 1 on 4, albeit all very low. He gets himself the first frag, but is against a bomb clock that is unforgiving.
Yeah, Exist really will be running out of time here. There's just not enough left on the clock as Shuxy takes his head off. Second round for Verygames, but only 2 Verygames members stay alive, so not a lot of money for the French-Belgian side.
And that's what he existed really well there. 1v4, those 2 kills could be the difference later on. We'll see, because those 2 players have got next to nothing. Smiths, no money in the bank.
Yep, and like you see, Scream has absolutely no nades as of right now. Well, he's still getting a drop, but yeah, I mean, Exist played that very well. You're not supposed to win all those rounds. That ship had already sailed by then, so he did exactly what he was supposed to. Got those 2 kills. Good job.
5-2. Here we go. Very quick. In fact, Existence pushed in, and coming at him was Fifth Laren like a steam trade, and they trade the frag. Trade the in-game leader of Verygames, though.
Yep, and we'll see how well Verygames can adjust without him alive. Forrest picks up Smiths, who was trying to look for another pick in ramp, and NIP are up in numbers early on. That was a very quick opening to this round, unlike all the earlier rounds in this half. A Scream with a really nice headshot on Forrest.
I tell you what, you can't write either of these 2 sides off. They've got so much talent.
I know. At any point, anyone might just go off and just tap, tap, tap.
We can fanboy them all day long.
That is true.
Speaking of people who we could fanboy, Get Right shows us why. Can we exchange frags, though? Tit for tat. Tease with a little bit of damage onto Scream, but push with the help of Shocks, who...
And these 2 have really been left alive quite a lot in these close late round situations. We'll see if they can pull it off this time.
Oh, Exist had a very quick opportunity there, didn't take it, and now we'll push in. He's getting pushed around here. Freiburg pushed in just at the right time to make it difficult. It Shocks 1 on 2. Exist has taken a lot of damage, but he will get a quick sight on one player. Oh, they combine, and NIP get themselves the round. And these have been close rounds. The scoreboard's going to read 6-2, but it doesn't tell the full story. We've had 4 bombs down from Verygames that haven't been converted.
Yeah, and a lot of the time it's actually been the star players of Verygames too. It seems like Shocks and Scream wound up last alive in those situations, as we see Scream's kill there. So far they haven't been able to pull those off, but you know, it's still looking a little dangerous in the sense that if they do win a couple of those, all of a sudden NIP will be the ones thinking, okay, Verygames now has quite a lot of room to work with in the second half, so what a game.
Yeah. Shocks will lead that charge around. Smith is inside. 3 AKs only for them here. For Flaren in ramp room, isn't going to push out this time. Looks like the movement's all going to come towards A. The nade will go right on the top of them, and Freiburg will wipe one out before getting dropped by Smith himself. Right gets Smith as a revenge, and now 2 of their guns are gone. MBK's in the sight, but he doesn't have much to play with. And Right doesn't play fair. He massacres him out, and this is going to leave just Existence standing 1 on 3. No gun and no life. Heaton giving him a real walloping on the back, free frag. And there's the crowd again. Been very vocal for NIP. 7-2. They're going to be over the moon right now.
7-2, a very, very good lead so far on this third and deciding map. Verygames are going to have to save, which should put NIP up 8-2. Quite a good lead early on. But like we said so many times, it's not over until a team gets 16 rounds. You can always come back. A nuke is a very, very CT-sided map. So if Verygames can get 1 or 2 more rounds and the pistol round, they're still within striking range for sure.
It's the minimum you go in at halftime. 4?
Yes, a 3. I think they can still even win with 3 if they get the CT pistol, because Verygames also have a very good CT side. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this game ended with 12-3, 13-2 type scores.
Frags going the way of NIP, and these are the moments players live for.
They really are. This is what you wait for all year and practice all those nights for.
Any chance you miss it?
No, I miss these moments. I just don't miss the practice at home.
And pistol round looks like it, or the eco round looks like it'll be converted out here by NIP. 3 frags, looking for the final 2. It shocks it'll go around and will be drowned as Existence comes through the radio room on towards the ramp. Pyjamas will just about finish off the job. NIP convert. They have themselves now a 6-round advantage at 8-2. And we'll see. Verygames have got to feel very unlucky at the moment.
Indeed, 8-2. It's not as bad as it may look, in the sense that Verygames have had a lot of close rounds, like you said previously. So if they can just convert a couple of those, all of a sudden they're in business. But they do have to start converting those, because if they keep losing all of them, NIP will run off.
Let's see what Verygames have got to offer here. Right has players boosting on his right. And falls back before he can see anyone. As Verygames set up their next move. They love going around the outside. Shots fired. Right. Counting them in as they come around that outside, and Forrest is going to count them down. Frag number 1 goes Right to a Forrest with 2. Scream does stop it, but the damage has been done, and the round is over. 9-2.
Dominant round for NIP once again. Forrest and Freiberg just mowed Verygames down on the lower side. And nice read by NIP to figure out what Verygames were doing. Good over-rotation into the lower side tunnels.
9-2.
Looking tough for Verygames.
We have 4 rounds left. Verygames need to pick up at least one of them for Lopez's count.
And even that might not be enough, but that would at least give them a little bit of room to work with. The pistol round on the CT side is the round they really need. And considering they won the super hard pistol round of T side, I mean, they started this half up 1-0. They really got to be unhappy right now. There's no happy campers here on the Verygames side of the tournament area.
Is anyone ever happy when they're camping? Okay, Flaren gets the kill on the Smiths. And these are the moments on an eco where you might think for Verygames it might be time to rush something, might be time to offer something different and just try and create an opportunity for them, but that's not in their DNA.
No, and they likely are. The reason they probably are playing the save round so slowly is because they're talking about it. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. Existence is probably listening to his teammates' thoughts on what would work.
Right to fifth Laren, help themselves with some frags. NIP enter double digits. It's 10-2 now. We have 3 rounds left in the half.
And this is the point when Verygames once again need some of their players to step up, put up a couple multi-kill rounds, and all of a sudden they could be contending for this map, because right now NIP have looked much, much better. They won 10 out of the last 11 rounds too.
You're good with those stats. I think you should name yourself to Statsman Lupus.
No, we already got one of those at HLTV.
Here we go. This is Verygames' opportunity, and they've not got many left in this first half. MBK fires into the tin can. Shox will jump around outside.
Another slow start by Verygames in this round.
And this is a map where you can fire through and you can do some damage, so it's worth trying to see if you can get a pick. This is, you know, not uncommon.
No, not at all. But so far they haven't been able to connect. It's only been Scream and Smits who have actually lost health.
Well, when you put it in that perspective. Forrest looks around the back. There is a man down there. Fiflaren drops down towards the bottom bomb site and has been engaged in that ramp room. As Smiths in existence will push forward in towards ramp, use the smoke for cover. They force Fiflaren to move, but they don't know where to. Just on the other side there as MBK comes looking for him. He's going to be waiting for you. There's Fiflaren, opens up the fragging. It's Freiburg, sorry, who gets the kill and goes down in the end. Fiflaren and Freiburg both down. Smith moves in towards that site as the rotating players are going to come down ramp right now and open up. Get right frag number one, Forrest number two. There's only one man left standing. Sorry, two men left standing. Shox get him. He's on his lonesome now against Get Right and Exist. We've seen this before. Verygames need a very different outcome. It just won't happen for Shox though here on Nuke. He's going to get the first one. There's going to be a man surely on the bomb any second now, but Exist is going to stop him. And every time Shox has got into that situation here on Nuke, he's just not been able to deliver.
What a nice headshot by NIP's in-game leader there. Really big shot by Exist. And so far, really, this match has come down to Verygames' inability to win those 2v2 type situations in the lower side, where NIP has just been super successful with those retakes, as we see Exist taking the head off of Shoxy.
From that position, Shox going up to the window. Was it a better move to go down to the door and just spam onto the bomb?
Well, I mean, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, hindsight's great.
Yeah.
But that's where we saw...
That time it would have been better to go to the door.
We saw two or three just instinctive decisions by NMP earlier to take down Shox. Get right through the door was what I was referring to. And that hasn't happened for Verygames on this map. On Inferno, everything went their way.
Smits has now picked up an op, and he's going to be zooming around outside looking for that early pick, and that's something they really haven't been given. NIP have done a very good job of staying hidden early on in the round, not allowing Verygames to get an early man advantage.
Forrest gets a kill. Get right though, out for the count. The AWP now revealed. Frag comes in for Scream, and Verygames have a man advantage with an AWP to try and ram it home. As they change tact here. Fiflaren retreats from ramp room. As Freiburg sits on the A site. Scream will come around the outside. It's been cleared by Smiths, as has that ramp room. They do have an affinity to that B bomb site, but as they pick up these frags, it may not matter which way they go. They're 4 men up. They're 4-2 up in men, and they will kick themselves if they can't convert this to be their third round at halftime. Bomb planted by MBK. Smith's watching in. No, not planted. Screen's going to go down. Finally, the bomb goes in, and Freiburg has opened NIP up here. As they come through, Smith will jump from door to door, gets himself the first frag onto Exist, and as Freiburg gets ready to come in towards that site, Smith will rattle off another one, and Existence will finish off the job, and Verygames have a very important round.
They finally get back on the board after losing just a ton of rounds in a row. And finally they convert one of those lower side rounds. Smith's got 2 kills with his up, so that seems like a good adjustment. A little late, but still, they can still get 4 rounds this half. If they get the CT pistol, anything is possible, and you just can't count out a team like Verygames, even when they're down 2-11.
Last round of the half here. Verygames looking to make something happen for themselves. Get right around on the outside. Has to be a little bit more cautious now that AWP has been warmed up. Get right stays inside in the warmth. So Smiths is scouting every corner, and Get Right plays it safe. Once that smoke goes in, he knows that there could be an AWP moving in it. Smith has come a long way around, trying to clear out the entrance in towards this A site. Has cleared out the left-hand side, but Freiburg is above them, and he won't be able to spy him here. The incendiary grenade stops them from moving. It's going to be Freiburg to go drop down, and grenades pass one another as the entry into the A is forced this time by Verygames. Freiburg goes 1-for-1 with Scream. Smith gets the frag on to Get Right. Exist is following suit, and Verygames should get another bomb plant. Plant here. It's going to be all on Forrest to save the last round of the half, as Fifth Laren has departed, and he's not going to do that, and it's 11-4 in the end. Final 2 rounds of the half go the way of Verygames, and they bring us back here at halftime to a 7-round deficit, but with that CT bias in play, all is not lost for the Frenchman.
No, it really isn't. 4 rounds can very well be enough, especially if you win the pistol round. Without the pistol, it gets a little dicey, because unless they do what NIP just did to them, which is win a save round, you're just giving NIP so much time to win just 2 rounds. But, I mean, 12 rounds, very winnable for Verygames. They finally started getting their game together. And something interesting is that even though it looked like NIP was super dominant the whole time, going up 11-2 at one point, Verygames, first of all, they had a lot of close rounds that they could have won. Obviously, NIP played them better in the lower side, all those 2v2 retakes, and they earned those rounds. But there were a lot of rounds that could have potentially gone the other way. And Verygames also lost a save round. So in a way, Verygames winning 3 weapon rounds was actually a very good performance on the T side of Nuke. The problem is they couldn't follow those up by winning those anti-eco rounds early on in the half. Because imagine them getting 2 more rounds and NIP having to save at one point. All of a sudden we're looking at an 8-7 type score. So NIP really made the most of what they could have with that save round win. That was huge for the Swedes.
So, I know what you're going to say. All depends on the pistol round, but where would you put that Lurpus Esports Fund right now?
On NIP.
They're that confident?
I'm confident in Get Right. Get Right has really showed up once again, and to me, he's the only player in the world. Like, Shoxy might be getting there, but to me, Get Right is the only player in the world who can just will his team to victory at times. He's just so ridiculously good, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we just saw Get Right going nuts for a couple of rounds, say the pistol. And same goes for Forrest. Forrest can just get those pistol round kills that could be so huge, and just so much riding on this next round that is going to start any second.
All right, NIP fans that we can hear behind us, try and out-scream those StarCraft fans to our left. Here we go, NIP 11, Verygames 4. It's the final map. Oh, I tell you, they may well have out-screamed them.
They might have.
It's the final countdown, let's put it that way.
And 98,000 viewers currently. We're so close to 6 digits.
We have been entertained.
Oh, we have been entertained. And here is the all-important pistol round.
I long to go into a pistol round for it not to be important. Frags coming in. It's going to be Fifth Laren who gets the entry. Scream down. Scream the pistol man has been outed. And it'll be Fifth Laren to push in towards the A site. Bomb is about to be planted. It's in and down. Shox is going to get dropped. Existence is in. Smith picks one back up, but NIP being willed to victory by this crowd. Exist has got 3 this round. It's all on MBK. 1v4 to try and pull him out. He can't as the NIP firing squad goes wild. And NIP pick it up. Heaton going absolutely berserk behind his team, knowing that they are homing in here. Big round won by NIP. 12-4.
Indeed, a big round, and now let's just see if they can follow it up with a win here. Looks like Verygames actually are not going for their usual armor P250 buy. We'll see if they go for a risky buy on the 3rd round, or if they actually think their CT side is good enough that they can be trailing 4-14 and still bring it back. It's a mountain to climb.
Really is. You can't count this Verygames side out. They have the talent. And they more than have the willpower here. As Forrest gets himself the frag onto Shox. Remember, this is only the first semi-final. You've got Complexity Fnatic next, and the grand final tonight. I think at around 10:30, but I checked that on HLTV, but rather than take my word. Get Right gets himself that frag onto MBK, and NIP being diligent about converting this pistol. Unlike their opponents, Get Right went looking. Actually almost walked into a trap there. Didn't happen for him. And they will charge up the ladder in towards that A site. Scream didn't stand a chance against Forest there, and Existence is going to have to come out. It's all on Smiths as well. Can't do it. Bomb planted. And Existence 1 on 5. NIP will take themselves to 13. And that first buy round for Verygames is going to be the game riding on it.
And then the next 10 rounds as well. It's just really hard for Verygames. This is the time where they're going to be really tested mentally, because they really have to somehow just forget about the score. They really have to, I know it's a cliche, but you have to think about it one round at a time.
That is a cliche.
It is, but it's true. It's also true.
It's right out of Jose Mourinho's quote book, that one, so I'll take it. And, oh, look at it. That was a sigh and a half. In we go, 13-4. Verygames on another eco. As the NIP crowd clap their team to victory. Here we go one more time. Can NIP do it? They're going to not get the first frag. MBK silences the crowd. And Fiflaren gets one back to help them find their voices once more.
And Spitz gets a nice headshot onto Forest. This could be dangerous now for NIP.
A man to the good for Verygames as they look to do what NIP did to them. Shot from Exist. Down Smiths, 3v3. Double headshot from Smiths, he says.
3v3 situation still. Only NBK has a gun from Verygames.
The tension rise. Verygames know that they've got under the skins of NIP here by getting those kills. They're going to push Fiflaren up. See whether he can spy anyone up in the bird's nest. There's Freiburg going to join them as well as NIP go off-road. And they've been sighted. That nade tossed up there. They know exactly what's coming. And, oh, they didn't. I take it back. Fiflaren and Freiburg get themselves a kill apiece. Existence taken out by the firing squad. And it's 14-4. This is it. Verygames have a gun round that may well... Ooh, we've had a pause call from MBK, but it's 14-4 here. Next buy round is the game for Verygames. 100,000 on stream. Right as we have a pause, you've joined just at the perfect moment. As sorry, it's 100,000 across HLTV and stream. As we're ready to go once more.
14-4. From here on out, now Verygames have their backs against the wall. They have to win all the rounds.
Existence is going to see some action. He and Shocks get themselves the frags as Verygames start as they needed to. Now Scream gets frag number 3 for Verygames in this round. Only 2 players left up. It's going to be the first man to come walk in as Exist, and Scream will happily help himself to one more if he can. Get Right goes it alone, but is in the end down. 14-5.
And a quick round win for Verygames, only losing 1 weapon. NIP requesting a pause. Wonder what is the problem here, but I'm sure we'll be right back underway.
So, great stuff here. 14-5. Verygames need 9 more rounds to tie us up. Might seem like a lot, but walk us through how it can be done.
Exactly by continuing to do what they just did on the first round. I mean, Verygames are just a very good counter-terrorist side team. We saw NIP pull off, I don't know how many rounds on that CT side, about 10 in a row, or 10 out of 11 or something. So, I mean, it's not impossible for Verygames to do the same. We just saw how easily they converted that first round. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy throughout the whole half, but first half we didn't really get many individual performances from the Verygames players. So if their players start heating up, NIP starts feeling the pressure. I don't know. You know, it's a long way to go. You gotta give a big advantage to NIP at this point, but you can never count another team like Verygames out. I mean, these are the world's 2 best teams, and it's all on the line here.
If I look down at the pause, I think it's Forrest that called it. He's the only one with the headset off. In fact, they're Now all D head setting, and Freiburg will get up and walk down and, well, not sure what's going on down there. So, Verygames called a pause. Suddenly I blink and there's a massive crowd. NIP called a pause. Suddenly I blink and there's a massive crowd behind them as well, as everyone has swarmed, knowing that victory may well be imminent. The press are all poised. The documentary team are there. The Fragbite guys are there. Normally I'd see Nixon down there with a camera, but he's actually on the phone. Yeah. He's been relegated to a phone camera nowadays. Steel Series won't give him a real one to just make him feel like the Nixon of old. Just give him a fake one. As looks like no end in sight to this pause. So let's remind you where we're at. It's semi-final number 1. $250,000 is the prize purse. 100,000 people watching this one. And Verygames are staring defeat in the face. They're 14-5 down against NIP, but have the CT side of nuke to try and save them. Coming up later, another Swedish team, Fnatic. They will take on, from America, Complexity for either an all-Swedish final or another Swedish-American final. Rolling back the years, are we? That's coming up straight afterwards. And then the grand final later on today around 10:30. This is our last game, Lupus. This is our last bit of CS action for you and I.
I know.
Those two washed-up has-beens are going to be shipped back to the retirement center for esports wannabes.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yes. It's been very fun.
You glad you came?
Yes.
You glad you defied the haters out there?
What haters?
And you're still going to go through with shaving your mustache off on the final? I think that's a great move. Raises a lot of awareness for Movember.
No.
Pretty sure you said you would.
You might have been dreaming. That's a weird dream to have.
No, I'm sure you offered to shave, and Thorin said he'd start throwing sports jerseys out to the crowd.
That's even less likely.
I wondered how he was going to top the Mighty Ducks one or the Penguins he had yesterday, but the CCP one, he's gone for it. He's gone big.
Imagine if Astana were still playing.
That's what he said. He is like, damn, I wrote it on the wrong day. So we have no news on the pause. Spying Verygames there. Let's give a word about them. I mean, we've gotten a little bit carried away on the NIP side. They have the crowd behind them. They have everyone stood behind them. But Verygames, silent and methodical. They don't look like they look like they maybe need someone to come along and just give them an Emmanuel Petit in the World Cup final. Just cheer them together to just bring them out. But maybe that's not their style.
Well, you know, their entourage consists of one manager, whereas NIP has about, I don't know, a couple thousand people who are their fans just in like this close vicinity of this tournament area. Plus, their fans are just so loud. It gets so loud whenever they get kills. And I think one factor actually might be how these rounds play out, because I'm really not sure just how much Verygames hears of what's going on around them.
But does this silence help them at all? I mean, there's nothing going on between that team right now. Is that a negative? Are they mad at each other? I mean, what is going on between them? You know them better than I.
There's no reason for them to be mad at each other. They just won the previous round in a very convincing fashion. I think they're probably just all in their thoughts. They want to just kind of focus. They don't want to talk too much. They know what they're going to do. They've already had their pre-game chat.
Look at the cast, guy. Let's get the camera to focus in on the cast. Oh, it's gone. I'm sure. I put my head to the screen earlier. I'm sure it said Heaton on that cast. But we get another look at the almost silent Verygames side. And we lie in wait as NIP don't look like their fix is incoming any second now. So we'll switch it up. We've got a default. Whenever we run out of filler, we've got a default filler group, and that's you in chat. What have you got for us? Ask Lupus. What have you got to ask Lupus? We have absolutely no information. Wondering whether Corey Dunn can share with us any information. So, in fact, getting word in my ear, we're going to take it to a break. Doesn't look like a resolution's incoming, so we're going to throw it out to commercials. Enjoy them. We'll be right back.
And NIP need just 2 rounds.
14-5. If we're to witness something here, it's going to be a comeback under such immense pressure. It would go down in folklore. I was there when.
Verygames actually came back from a 5-14 deficit once against NIP in October.
NIP get themselves frag number 1 as they make a bit of an entry in towards A. Make that a hell of an entry in towards A. 2 frags for Freiburg. Shox has got himself the frag to exist, but Freiburg is raining havoc down in the A site. And going to try and get that bomb into position. Scream is there. They're worried about Fiflaren around on the outside, but they've got big problems here. Smith's going to come back round and push in. Scream waits. They're going to have to be clean as a whistle on this retake. And Scream's the man who's going to do it. Not clean. Freiburg, hat-trick frag. There's Fiflaren and Get Right combining to get himself the last. It's Shox on his own, and Shox decides he has to retreat. He has the AWP. And Verygames are going to have to come back from 15-5. We have 10 match points, ladies and gentlemen. NIP reacts strongest, and Shox may not get away with that, or he doesn't. Freiburg, 4 frags.
What a huge round win for NIP. Like you said, they now have 10 game points to try to win this map, and to make matters worse for Verygames, they don't have a lot of money.
I can confirm that Cast was signed by, he did come round, gave me a little wolf whistle. Here we go. 10 match points. The crowd behind, cheering NIP on every second of the way. As a neutral, you want to see Verygames take us all that way. Let's see whether that's to be. Famis is out from Verygames. Get themselves frag number 1. Forrest has gone down. Fiflaren down to existence. And we'll go around looking for frag number 2. Gets it. Freiburg on the other side. They could do it right here. 2-on-2. Scream and Shox, who've been in this 2-on-2 so many times in this game, haven't been able to deliver any of those opportunities here on nuke. Fiflaren gets his hat-trick frag, and now it's all on Shox. 1 versus 2. Verygames hanging on by a thread. Come out fighting. Fiflaren's been stopped as the bomb planted by Freiburg, who got 4 frags last round. Shox pushes in. Is it going to get there? And NIP defeat Verygames to advance to the DreamHack Grand Final, where they will face one of Complexity or Fnatic, and the Swedes go crazy.
As they should.
NIP, the word of the day, the fans.